On February 24, 2010, the Delaware Riverkeeper Network chartered a bus for downstream citizens to attend a public hearing regarding the first permits to hydrofrack for natural gas in the Upper Delaware. Concerned citizens were energized and eager to make their voices heard to protect their clean water and the Delaware River. So, the Delaware Riverkeeper Network had to charter a bigger bus for the 300-mile journey. Due to the large response at the public hearing, the DRBC has extended public comment until April 12, 2010. Visit www.delawareriverkeeper.org to write your letter.
Set myself on fire.
Up here we are going to a public hearing that will be defending the people's right to clean water.
Welcome. My name is Bob Tudor. I'm Deputy Director of the Delaware River Basin Commission.
I've been watching the Commission now for over 30 years.
And I want to thank you on behalf of the Commission for taking time out of your busy schedules and navigating the highways.
All right, let me just say we're talking about 2 to 3 years of gas here.
To participate in this public hearing process.
A map here that shows the acreage that is already currently under lease. It's a vast majority of land. These are private property owners under lease, only with Hass and Newfield.
We're going to be taking oral comment this afternoon on a couple of draft dockets.
I could have made $250,000 by signing a lease, but for me, water was more important than gas.
Had insider testimony that showed that those fractures go all the way up to the surface and contaminate aquifers.
That relate to water withdrawals and natural gas well pad site location.
I fish for catfish. I fish for trout in the Upper Delaware. I beg you and plead you to put a moratorium on this until all the studies are done.
What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about the conduct of the hearing before we get involved.
Matter of fact, you can build a gas well in Pennsylvania and in New York, in the Delaware River watershed, in the 100-year floodplain. It's outrageous. It's unthinkable that you would actually be able to put a gas well and its infrastructure in the floodplain of the river. But you can, and waterways as well.
And it will cause jobs, or create jobs. They will build real jobs, not government jobs that are parasites to the rest of the job force.
Are you going to respond? I've asked questions in the past that had to do with enforcement, that had to do with water contamination and pollution. I have never received an answer.
Okay. We wanted to allow for everybody to be heard, and we wanted to do that in an even-handed kind of way.
The Robeson well is contaminated. You all decided not to regulate it, and it's contaminated. And you are now considering additional permits. I will say to you that you will have the wrath of the people to deal with if you consider moving forward with this policy.
And we have a Google Earth type depiction of where it is located relative to, say, Route 170.
So, let's use some logic. This one industry is exempt from every single federal environmental law of any significance.
The next one gives you a little bit more of a USGS of where the water withdrawal is.
That off the fact should get the commissioners sort of interested in what it is their mandate will now be.
Specifically in this docket, the drilling is already underway.
The water withdrawal docket essentially limits the water to be used for natural gas development and extraction activities at any stone well pad site.
255 million gallons per year.
In the floodplain of the river. But you can, and waterways as well. You would think, well, who would do this? Well, I'll tell you right now, Stone Energy did it. And Stone Energy did it in violation of Pennsylvania regulations, was found in violation of Pennsylvania regulations just last month. A picture right here I'm submitting of the flooded site of Stone Energy on a creek in Susquehanna County. So they're doing it, and want to do it too, unless we put regulations in place that prohibit it.
Good planning normally leads to good outcomes, and poor planning leads to very bad outcomes.
Generally, the entire industry has, through lobbying, become exempt from the federal clean air and clean water concerns.
Natural gas is probably the scariest thing that I've encountered in my 28 years of life so far.
And I'm also concerned because of the lack of regulations that are appropriate for air and water quality here in Pennsylvania that are presented by the particular challenges of hydraulic fracking.
A lot of people have responded to me saying, oh, well, my water treatment plant will take care of that. And we know that's not true. It has to be, any wastewater needs to be cleaned up at the drilling site.
If we frack, we have an abundance of wastewater. If we don't frack, then there's less wastewater, and which means that we have less treatment facilities, which use energy anyway, a lot of it.
I hate to think about how downstream the presence of bromide, possibly in gas drinking water, can turn into something else.
I'm pretty pissed off, I'll tell you that.
And what we're dealing with here is a classic example of this tragedy of the commons. We privatize our profits and we commonize the costs. I have heard that it will cost the taxpayers of Pennsylvania upwards of $3 billion a year for the commonized costs of this project for fracking for natural gas.
That based on the evidence that's available about gas drilling and based on the testimonies here, it is absolutely absurd that we're even gathered here to tell you about this.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
And we have a responsibility to protect it for the generations to come. Thank you.
First I was afraid of petroleum. Kept thinking we could never get off foreign oil again.
Visit www.delawareriverkeeper.org to learn how you can write your letter. Thanks. Darling, I bought stock into Stern Energy. I'm hoping it goes up, 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 up. Cause I need a new yacht for Fifi.
Do you resent when I give you advice? You said that lightning never strikes twice. From my experience, baby, that's not true at all. You can't win if you don't roll the dice.